Throughout history, humans have believed in the unbelievable. From animals on trial for crimes, to hair that grants superhuman strength, from mysterious ceremonies to sacred traditions, and even sacrifices to volcano gods. This video dives deep into the cultural and spiritual lives of past civilizations that influenced the world we know today. These are some of them. In the Middle Ages, animals, including cats, were put on trial for crimes and could even be executed. The charges against animals ranged from destruction of property to more serious accusations like witchcraft, especially for cats, which were often associated with dark forces and superstition. Some ancient cultures, like the Aztecs, believed sacrificing humans or animals would appease angry volcano gods. Meanwhile, the volcano kept erupting, unimpressed by their efforts. Across many cultures, counting stars was believed to bring misfortune, such as bad luck, warts, or even death, particularly if one unknowingly counted their own star. This belief is common in Serbian folklore, for example, and it is deeply rooted in ancient traditions and fears. Ancient Egyptians believed that walking under a ladder disrupted the sacred triangle it formed, which was thought to trap spirits. Walking under it was avoided, not just to preserve good luck, but to prevent spirits from following or hitching a ride from the living. In 18th and 19th century England, children were sent up chimneys to clean soot because of their small size, which allowed them to navigate narrow spaces. These young workers often labored without safety gear, exposing them to dangerous conditions that frequently led to injuries, respiratory illnesses, or even death. Throwing coins into water to make wishes dates back to ancient times when people believed water spirits could grant favors in exchange for offerings. Sacred wells, springs, and fountains were often seen as portals to divine realms, and the act of tossing a coin symbolized both a plea and a token of gratitude for blessings received or hoped for. Many cultures, including the ancient Israelites, believed that long hair was a source of strength and power. Samson took it literally, until a haircut ruined his whole day. In some cultures, keeping a rooster around was thought to scare off evil spirits. Apparently, spirits don't like early morning wake-up calls either. Ancient Romans used human urine for cleaning clothes and whitening teeth, thanks to its ammonia content. Public urine jars were even taxed as a revenue stream. In some Asian cultures, particularly in Japan and parts of India, sleeping with your head facing north was considered an invitation to death or misfortune. This belief stems from funeral traditions where the deceased are laid to rest with their heads pointing north, making it a direction associated with the afterlife and spirits. In rural Europe, spilling milk was believed to predict family arguments. This superstition likely arose from the frustration and loss associated with wasting such a valuable household resource. But cleaning it up was what probably caused the fight. In medieval times, sneezing was thought to briefly open your soul, making you vulnerable to evil spirits. The phrase, "God bless you," was often said as a protective measure to ward off these spirits. Additionally, some believed that the force of a sneeze could expel the soul from the body, emphasizing the perceived need for spiritual protection. Alchemists in the Middle Ages believed that drinking gold could grant immortality, viewing it as a substance of divine perfection and eternal life. Instead, it often led to expensive indigestion and, in some cases, toxic effects, as they unknowingly experimented with unsafe preparations. In medieval courts, people believed animals could testify against criminals if a priest whispered holy words to them. Imagine losing a trial because a goat gave you the side eye. In medieval Europe, people closely observed the behavior of birds, believing it could predict the weather. For instance, swallows flying low were thought to signal impending rain. These natural observations often blended superstition with early meteorological understanding, making birds both messengers of nature and omens of what was to come. In ancient Greece and Rome, people wrote curses on papyrus or lead tablets and buried them near graves to call on the dead for revenge. If you think subtweets are passive-aggressive, try ghost-assisted revenge. Across cultures, giving a knife as a gift was believed to cut the relationship, symbolizing a severing of ties. To counter this, people would include a coin with the knife, allowing the recipient to pay for it and preserve the bond. Many cultures believed certain birds, like crows or owls, were omens of death. If one of these ominous creatures landed on your house or crossed your path, you'd probably start drafting your will. Public executions, whether by guillotine, hanging, or other brutal methods, drew large crowds eager for the grim spectacle, turning these events into a macabre form of entertainment. Consider it a medieval version of Netflix. In various cultures, tying red threads around wrists or doorways was believed to ward off evil spirits and bring protection and good fortune. The color red, associated with strength and vitality, was thought to repel negative energy, making this practice a meaningful connection to ancestral traditions.